spotlight this week, especially with Justin Madden announcing his retirement. Greg Williams playing his 250th game, and of course the big clash coming up against Essendon. And the football manager of the Carlton Football Club, Col Kinnear, is in position. I think we're crossing out to Col now, so if we just swing around. Good evening, Col, and thanks for joining us on Footy Focus.
No worries, Coves. Thanks, you.
Now, it has been a big week for Carlton, and I suppose there's been plenty of tributes paid to Justin Madden. Perhaps you'd like to add one as well.
Well, look, Justin came to us during the week and said that he wasn't capable of going on. He'd reached a stage with his body that he didn't think he could even get through a reserves game, let alone a senior game, and it was the opportune time for him to give it away. But he was a great player for the club, there's no doubt about that. He did it all. He played in premierships, he was an All-Australian, he's a best and fairest winner. You know, he's played over 300 games in his AFL career, the third highest game player at Carlton, yeah, and he was a real character around the place. And he spoke to the team tonight, or to the club tonight, the listed players before training, and did it in his own way, and did it very, very well. You know, he's a wonderful player for the club.
Cole, if I could just ask you about Matthew Allen as well, who we all expect to probably be the likely player to step up and fill Harry's big boots. But there's a little bit of speculation about his future as well today, given contractual situations. What's happening with Matthew?
Look, Matty's, that was out in the paper today, but look, Matty's a young kid that we've developed, bringing him from Mount Dandenong as a young boy, and Matty's career will be at Carlton. And as we all know, Carlton look after their own players, especially the young boys coming through, and it's just disappointing for him that he got a week at the Tribunal last Monday night, because Matty Allen's had a terrific year for us. In a year that's been up and down for Carlton Football Club, one of the bright sides of it has certainly been Matty Allen.
Cole, Ron Barassi here.
Okay, Ronald.
It's fairly obvious that there's been a great rapport between Parkin and Big Harry. Do you think under any other coach he would have produced as much?
Hard one to say, Ron, and you know, you build up relationships with players, and I suppose that's what makes great coaches, the ones who can build up relationships with players, get the most out of players, understand players, and for players to be able to do that over a period of time. And I think that's an excellent question. I think they had a relationship that was built on trust, and the trust came through in match day. It wasn't always one that was built on what was happening during the week with Justin. And in saying that, David was very good with him. He enabled him not to train like the 18-year-old in the last 5 or 6 years, not to train the same as a 5'10" player, but more like a 6'10" player, and to really to get the best out of him on match days. And Justin was able to do that, and it certainly was an excellent relationship, and one that was very, very genuine in what did occur, and very true to what people say about it.
Cole, it's Mark Harvey here. Cole, when Justin spoke to the players before training tonight, was he very emotional, and how is that going to be relayed to the players when they go out and play for the Madden Cup on Saturday?
Well, as you know him, Harves, he's not always an emotional guy. It didn't really get to that stage. He just really thanked us for the fact that he wouldn't have to have the memo read out to him each week, that he wouldn't have to come to training again, that he didn't have to worry about getting to the reserves game early. The fact that he's a bit disappointed that they've called it the Madden Cup because he has to go to the football on Saturday. And could he go home as soon as he did the lap of honour rather than staying and watching the seniors game throughout. So he did it more as a bit of a jovial thing, but I think deep down he was quite proud in doing so.
Now, Cole, I told the guys in here about the Barassi Cup in matches between Carlton and Melbourne going way back many, many years ago. It seemed to be dropped off the list of happenings. I just hope that the same doesn't happen to Harry Madden's Cup.
I don't know what happened to the Barassi Cup, Ronald.
Well, check it out.
I'll check that. Who do I ask about that one? Do I ask, ring up George Harris or?
Laurie Kerr.
Laurie Kerr, all right, I'll ring Laurie tomorrow. And who do I contact from a Melbourne point of view?
Wouldn't have a clue. Joe Gutnick.
Right.
So it wasn't Gold Cup, though.
Cole, Paul Couch here.
Yeah, Couchy.
Mark Porter, what's he doing? Is he going to come up or?
Yeah, Mark Porter will be in the side. Look, One of the really pleasing things is when a young kid, and the AFL made a rule this year with a rookie draft. And when we looked at the rookie draft, we looked at a boy who was capable, we thought, who could improve, and you never know how much people are going to, or players are going to improve. So he was one who caught the eye of, would he improve sufficiently to be able to take the next step to get on the list? Now he's done that, and he's done both steps in the 1 week. He's done very well, and he's played in the reserve side that has been very tall. You know, at times we've had Justin, young Sam Smart, and Wayne Britton, who, by the way, is an excellent reserves coach, as good as I've seen, has tried to give each of the opportunities to all players to play at senior level. Now, young Porter's a very good ruckman, and he had the advantage of Adrian Gleeson playing with him, and Adrian, I think, would have roved as well to Big Justin as anyone over the years, and he's taken young Porter under his wing and helped him immensely. And, you know, I think it's a very good thing for the club. He's a 20-year-old boy. He came from Coburg in the VFA, and before that up in the Wangaratta area. So, yeah, he'll play his first game, and he's got there on form. I'd hate anybody to think that he's got there because Justin has given it away or because Matty Allen's suspended. Who knows, he may have forced his way into the 21 anyway, and he's gone up there with good credentials.
How tall is he?
About 6'6", Ron.
Right. I'm glad you did it in the old measure too. Ron understands that.
Yeah, I thought I'd get through to a lot of you up there if I said that. Don't ask me what. I think that's 200 centimetres, but I read it today when I had to put it into the AFL record.
Cole, can I ask you a two-word question about last week's Carlton-Melbourne game? And that is, what happened?
Now gather in, and you guys, and then the rest.
2 words.
What happened?
Didn't contest.
Oh no, that was the question. I needed a longer answer.
No contest.
What happened? I thought you needed a 2-word answer. No, we were disappointing, and you know, we never made the contest the way we wanted to make the contest. If you had to watch, it was a game of old, free-flowing, like a circle work game. We don't want that. We want a contest. We play our best football. We make a contest one-on-one, and we compete and compete. And hopefully at the MCG on Saturday against Essendon, we'll make a real contest out of it in front of hopefully 60,000, 70,000 people.
How's the attitude at training this week regarding the bad loss last week?
Yeah, well, I think that always comes through your leaders, and I think in our leaders, in both David Parkin as coach and Stephen Kernahan as our captain, they know that you learn by that, and I'm sure out in the training track and in witnessing it that we had to lift the tempo and we had to plan according to the opposition, and we're in the process of doing that and look forward to the game on Saturday.
Cole, the other thing, as well as losing Harry Madden, because he's retired, Fraser Brown also, he's out for the rest of the season, so you're copying it from all directions.
Yeah, I think if you look at our season and you say, well, at this stage, what hasn't happened that you want to happen? We know that the players at the end of their career are not going to play as many games. You know, form, age, fitness means that they're not, if they played, say, 20 games last year, they might play 18. That's one end of the scale. I think the other end of the scale is you look at your young players and you hope some will play their first game and they might play 2 or 3 or 4. The ones who played 4 or 5 might go on and play 10 or 12. But I think the area that we haven't got going is in the middle range players, the players who are the next group of leaders in the club, the players who we really want to take the next step to play the 20 games, and the group of players are in the age of 25 and 26. Some have done well. Sexton's done well, Ratton's done well in that area. But we've missed the Fraser Browns. You know, Fraser, Ange Christo we've missed for many weeks, and Ange won't play again. Brown, as I said, and unfortunately he'll be operated on tomorrow morning. We missed Camporelli for a great length of the time there. Matty Clappe is another one who's missed a lot of footy. Dean Rice has missed football, and they're the type of players who we need to be up, and the next group of leaders in our club and the next group who are playing. And unfortunately, we haven't had them consistently. And when they have, sometimes you try to bring them up without a background of 3, 4 or 5 weeks of senior footy under their belt. and with a list of 42, that happens consistently when you've played 37, 38 players.
Now, Cole, we might just put you on hold there for a minute because the Essendon team has come in.
Is Harv in it?
Well, that's what we're all wanting to find out.
The last gasp.
We can perhaps relay it to you because you can go back into that selection meeting and let Parko know what's happening.
Oh,
with
I'd love
Essendon.
that. You would think, geez, I've done a good job for the day.
And Ron's supposed to be looking at the Essendon side. I can tell you that they've made one change. What is it, Ron?
It's O'Connor in and nobody's out, which means...
Yes, Mark Fraser.
Where?
Down the bottom.
They haven't done him in yellow, though.
I see, yes.
And there's no sign of Mark Harvey.
No. Do we back Carlton this week, Cole? We've got the odds up just before.
So there's one change. This is O'Connor in and Fraser out.
Fraser out.
Malcolm Fraser out.
And yourself, Cole, how many other more changes have you made there?
We'll make about, I would think we'd probably make 3 changes. Adrian Whitehead will be available and will come into the side. And there's and Mil Hanna as well.
Actually, it's disappointing given that it's been played for the Madden Cup and there is a fair bit of history now surrounding it, that Mark Harvey isn't playing. It's the sort of game you'd love to play in, Mark, isn't it?
Oh, I love playing against Carlton, and it's always a terrific, ferocious contest and always normally very tight, isn't it, Cole?
It is, Halves, and I'm not saying it because you're there, but you've always been a very good player against us, and so we'll get to the MCG early and have a look at it.
Now, Cole, you've mentioned...
I'll see you at Flemington in the Spring Carnival.
Is there any chance that you might draft a 32-year-old next year?
We might have to swap a couple. We've got a couple of
Play swaps.
I think Sheeds always likes the challenge, and David does too. We'll see what we can do, Harv.
Just on that, you've got a lot of players in their veteran stage of their career, and they'll be leaving at the end of the season or maybe at the end of next season. So you're going to come to a stage where all those players you mentioned before, the Camporellis and Rice, all those sorts of players, the younger guys who have got to step up, if they don't to Mr. Elliott's standard, would Carlton pull the big stick out and start to try and get the AFL to go down this path of no salary cap?
It's been nice talking to you, Ron. It's good that your father and my father were very good friends years ago, Brass, and I knew you'd never ask me a question to put me on the spot. But Carlton will do everything to make sure this club is successful, everything off the field, everything on the field, everything with our powers. And that's one of the great things that expectations have made of Carlton Football Club, and those expectations only involve being successful and nothing else. But winning a premiership is accepted here. So, yeah, if we have to go all out, and I'm not answering that particular question, but if we have to do anything in our power to make this club successful, it will be done under John Elliott, the Wes Lofts, the Bruce Commons, and those type of people. And you would know that, Ron.
All right, them fighting words from...
I just wanted the public to beware.
Very aggressive then, Coase.
From Cole. And Cole, I must say, incidentally, Ron is looking after your son, Mark, up at... the Swans?
No, it's my nephew, actually.
He's a good player. Very good player.
Yeah, look, he's only a young 17-year-old boy who came out of the draft as one of the 17-year-old picks, and I'm delighted that he's up there, and just talking to Rocket Eade and Rick Quaid, they said he's got a long way to go, but he's going in the right direction. Okay, thank you, Cole. Col Kinnear joining us out at Carlton Football Club tonight. Appreciate his time there and his frank answering of those tough questions from Ron. That was a beauty.
Ron, I think you knew the answer to that question before you asked it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well, I think I do, and I think a lot of people think they do. None of us know, but I just wanted the football public to be aware.
Well done. I'm under pressure. We all are, because we have to take a break here on Footy Focus. And